We now welcome Tim Danger, a local Victoria artist and musician whose work is being featured at the Victoria Public Library. Welcome to Community Crossroads, Tim.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So talk to us about the show at the Victoria Public Library. I understand it's going to be up all month of January.
Yes, it's my photography work that I've been shooting for a while. It's going to be exhibited at the public library this month, January. So we're pretty excited about it.
And talk to me about the photography that is going to be shown. Over how many years, or what's the time period in which you captured these images?
So over the past few years, I've been collecting photos, mostly of bands that I've shot. I like to go to a lot of events and shoot crowds, just kind of get an idea of what I'm looking at. Like to go through with the idea of, looking through the lens like an outsider or an alien. So like something would be interesting to them. And it makes things like, even a doorknob or a chair interesting. But I also like to capture things like bands playing, faces. I like to capture people who aren't looking at the camera, so candid photography, and it kind of makes that an interesting subject to shoot.
I know we had an artist recently featured here in Victoria, a few years ago actually, Ernesto Leon, and he did a street photography workshop. Did you take part in that?
I did. That was a what bit ago, and he actually held a workshop, and it was really interesting to do the workshop with them, and then take strolls through downtown and shoot some pictures with them. And the interesting thing about that workshop is it was done all through cell phone. So I really enjoyed that because it kind of showed that you don't need to have a lot of fancy equipment to shoot pictures. You just need a really good eye and to keep practicing, taking interesting photos. So.
Very cool. And let's go ahead and share some information about the Victoria Public Library, just in case some of our viewers aren't familiar. So it's at 302 North Main Street, and they're open from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And their number is 361-485-3302. And you can learn more about the library at victoriatx.gov. And Tim, talk to us a little bit about how did this art show or this photography show get set into motion? Is it part of a larger series?
Yeah, it's really interesting because the library does a lot of stuff for creative stuff. I was actually supporting a friend of mine who was playing in a band for their VPL jam session, and I was shooting some of their pictures, and I was approached by a staff member. I shared some of my work, and then the next thing you know, we're planning an exhibit for this month. So I think that's really cool. Coming from a pay-to-play culture like myself as a musician and an artist, you always have to either pay like vendor fees or pay to play for bands. So it's really nice to have a community area that you can come and show your work. And I think that's a great work that the library is doing. Besides just the books, and it's what a library is supposed to do. So kudos to them.
Well, thank you so much, Tim, for joining us on Community Crossroads. I can't wait to check out the show.
Thank you.
And coming up, don't go anywhere, we get our viewer poll review. Welcome to our viewer poll review. We recently asked, is punishment of 2 to 10 years in a fatal hit and run appropriate? 31 of you said yes, 127 of you said no. We also asked, should emergency rooms be banned from surprising you with unexpected bills? 154 of you said yes, 7 of you said no. Go to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer polls. And here's a look at what we're working on for you next week. We take in some artwork by some area students, and we also hear from the Victoria ISD. Thank you for joining us for Community Crossroads. Be sure to join us next week and have a great week.